Have you ever opened your eyes in the morning feeling fine, and then suddenly, within seconds, felt a wave of dizziness, weakness, or brain fog wash over you? If you're over the age of 60, I want to tell you that experience is not just getting older. It's your body giving you a warning, a quiet one, the kind that's easy to ignore, but one that can carry a serious message. Because for many older adults, strokes don't always begin with a dramatic collapse or a slurred word caught mid-sentence. They often start quietly, with signs so subtle we dismiss them as nothing, until suddenly, they're not. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to gently walk with you through a conversation that could protect the most important thing you own, your brain. And more than that, your independence, your balance, and your peace of mind. The truth is, many strokes don't happen randomly. They build up over time. They're shaped by the small, everyday habits we repeat each morning without even thinking. Habits that feel normal, harmless, even healthy, but in the background, they may be slowly raising your risk without you realizing it. The good news? You have power. In this video, we'll go over 7 common morning mistakes that many seniors make, not out of neglect, but out of routine. And for each one, I'll share exactly what to do instead. Small, simple steps that can dramatically lower your stroke risk and protect your brain. If even one part of this video reminds you of something you've felt, I invite you to leave a comment below. You're not alone, and your story could help someone else recognize a sign they might have ignored. Now, let's begin with the very first habit, one most of us do without a second thought. Habit 1. Jumping out of bed too quickly. Let me ask you something. When you wake up, what's the first thing you do? If you're like most people, you probably open your eyes, check the time, and then swing your legs over the side of the bed without thinking twice. The day has started, and you want to get moving. But here's the part most seniors don't know. Standing up too quickly right after waking can silently put your brain at risk. You see, while you're sleeping, your body enters a state of deep rest. Your heart rate slows, your blood pressure drops, and your blood vessels relax. Your circulation also slows, especially to the brain. Now imagine what happens when you go from fully horizontal to fully vertical in just a few seconds. Your blood pressure may drop even further, a condition called orthostatic hypotension. It's more common with age, and it happens when the body isn't able to adjust fast enough to the sudden change in posture. You might feel a little lightheaded, maybe a bit off balance. Some people even experience tunnel vision or a moment of blacking out. Most people chalk it up to just getting up too fast. But what that really means is your brain isn't getting enough oxygen, not in that moment, and maybe not consistently over time. And for those of us with aging blood vessels, hardened arteries, or already borderline circulation, that split-second oxygen drop could trigger a mini stroke, or worse, a full-blown stroke. And the scariest part is, you might not even know it happened. What to do instead? Luckily, the solution is simple, and it takes less than 2 minutes. When you first wake up, don't rush. Take 3 to 5 slow, deep breaths while lying down. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch your arms and feet gently, then slowly sit up. Let your legs dangle over the edge of the bed for 30 seconds. Place your feet on the floor, and only then, gently rise to stand. These few seconds give your circulatory system time to adjust. They help your brain receive steady oxygen and protect it from the shock of a pressure drop. It's not about being slow, it's about being smart. If you've ever felt dizzy in the morning or your balance felt off, that wasn't just old age. That was your body giving you a signal. And now you know how to listen. And I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever experienced this morning lightheadedness or nearly lost your balance after waking? If so, you're not alone. Share it in the comments. Your experience might help someone else feel less confused and more empowered. Habit 2. Skipping morning hydration. Have you ever woken up and gone straight to your coffee or your morning pills without drinking any water? If so, you're not alone. And I want you to know, this tiny habit could quietly increase your risk of stroke, especially if you're over 60. See, while you sleep, your body naturally loses water. You're not drinking, but you're still breathing, sweating, and processing. By the time you wake up, you're already slightly dehydrated. And here's the thing, most older adults don't feel thirsty right away. even when their body desperately needs fluid. That's because, with age, your natural thirst signal becomes weaker. So even if your body's running low on water, you may not feel the urge to drink. And when you skip that first glass in the morning, it shows. Your blood becomes a little thicker, your circulation slows, your blood pressure may rise, and your brain, which relies on steady oxygen flow, gets stressed. Researchers have found that dehydration doesn't just lead to fatigue. It's directly linked to poor blood flow, impaired memory, and, in some cases, higher stroke risk. And if you're already taking medications that affect fluid balance, like blood pressure pills or diuretics, that dehydration risk is even higher. The good news? You can fix this in under 60 seconds. Here's what to do instead. The moment you wake up, before anything else, pour yourself a full glass of room temperature water. Sip it slowly. Let your body absorb it. Then, after a few minutes, go ahead with your breakfast or your meds or your coffee. That small act, one glass of water, can naturally thin your blood, support oxygen delivery to your brain, and help stabilize your pressure before the day begins. It may sound too simple to matter, but this single habit could protect your brain in ways you never imagined. Have you already made morning hydration part of your routine? Or is this something you're going to try starting tomorrow? Let me know in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else who's been feeling foggy, lightheaded, or just not quite right in the mornings. Habit 3. Eating a salty or processed breakfast. Let's talk about your breakfast. Now, I'm not here to shame your cereal, your toast, or your favorite breakfast sandwich, but I do want to show you something important, something that most seniors miss, even when they think they're eating healthy. When you wake up in the morning, your body naturally experiences a rise in blood pressure. This is called the morning surge. It's your body's way of getting ready for the day. Hormones like cortisol and adrenaline increase, your heart rate picks up, and your blood vessels respond. Now, combine that natural pressure spike with a breakfast loaded with hidden sodium. That's where the risk begins. See, sodium doesn't just come from your salt shaker, it hides in processed foods, the kind most of us turn to when we're in a hurry or trying to eat light. Let me give you a few examples. That instant oatmeal packet could have 250 milligrams of sodium, and that's before you add milk. That healthy, multigrain toast could have another 150 to 200 milligrams per slice. And if your breakfast includes bacon, sausage, or cheese, now you're over 600, even 800 milligrams before 9 a.m. So what does that mean for your brain? Excess sodium stiffens your blood vessels. It narrows circulation and puts more pressure on the delicate capillaries inside your brain. And over time, that pressure can lead to damage, increasing the risk of stroke, memory issues, and even sudden confusion. And here's the tricky part. Many of these foods don't even taste salty. So unless you're checking the label, you may not even realize how much sodium you're taking in. But don't worry, this doesn't mean you need to give up your favorite foods. Here's what to do instead. Swap instant oats for plain rolled oats and add your own fruit, cinnamon, or a few unsalted nuts. Replace processed meat with a hard-boiled egg and half an avocado. If you love toast, choose one slice of low-sodium whole grain and pair it with something fresh, like sliced tomato or nut butter. These small swaps can reduce your sodium intake by hundreds of milligrams, and your brain will thank you. Experts recommend keeping breakfast sodium under 300 to 400 milligrams total. That leaves room for flavor, without spiking your pressure. So next time you're shopping or reaching into your pantry, pause for a second. Turn the box around. Check the sodium. You don't have to be perfect, but even small changes here can protect your brain in the long run. Habit 5. Ignoring morning dizziness, weakness, or confusion. Let me ask you something. Have you ever woken up in the morning and felt off? Maybe just a little dizzy. Maybe your balance felt shaky. Maybe one arm felt a bit weaker than usual. Or your speech came out slower, almost like your brain was lagging behind. You brushed it off. You assumed you just slept wrong. Maybe you thought it was low blood sugar or not enough rest. But what if it was something more? What if your brain was trying to warn you? For many older adults, especially those over 60, these kinds of symptoms can be signs of something called a TIA, a transient ischemic attack, often referred to as a mini-stroke. TIAs happen when blood flow to part of the brain is briefly interrupted. They often last just a few minutes, and the symptoms usually go away completely. But make no mistake, a TIA is a stroke. It's your brain flashing a red light, and ignoring it could lead to a much bigger, permanent stroke down the road. Studies show that up to 1 in 5 people who have a TIA will go on to have a major stroke within 90 days, and half of those occur in just 48 hours. Here's the challenge. Morning is a high-risk time for these events. Your body is transitioning from rest to action. Blood pressure is rising, circulation is shifting, hormones are surging, and if your arteries are narrowed or your blood is a bit thicker from overnight dehydration, that's the perfect storm for a temporary blockage. So what should you look out for? Sudden dizziness or loss of balance, weakness or numbness on one side of the body, difficulty speaking or slurred words, blurry vision or double vision, brief confusion, forgetfulness, or disorientation. If you felt any of these, even if it was just for a minute, don't ignore it. Write it down. Note the time, how long it lasted, and what you felt. And talk to your doctor immediately. Even if the symptoms disappear, they leave behind a warning, one you shouldn't brush aside. And here's something that can help. There are free apps and paper trackers designed specifically for seniors to log symptoms like these. Having that info ready can help your doctor spot patterns and take action before it's too late. Because with strokes, seconds matter. Your brain is resilient, but it's also vulnerable. And sometimes, that little off feeling in the morning isn't just sleepiness. It's your body saying, hey, something's not right. Habit 6. Taking medications. Incorrectly or inconsistently, let's talk about something that happens in nearly every senior household. Taking your morning medications. But here's the thing. How and when you take those pills can make a major difference, especially when it comes to protecting your brain and preventing stroke. If you're like most older adults, you're probably on at least 1 or 2 daily prescriptions, blood pressure meds, cholesterol meds, maybe a blood thinner like aspirin or something for your heart. These aren't just routine pills. They're your body's daily defense system against stroke. But many people don't realize just how sensitive these medications can be. So let me ask you honestly, have you ever forgotten to take your pills? Ever taken them late? Taken a double dose because you weren't sure if you already had? Or swallowed them quickly with your morning coffee instead of water? If so, you're not alone. But these tiny missteps can have serious consequences. Let's break this down. The problem with timing. Many medications work on a 24-hour cycle. They're designed to maintain steady levels in your bloodstream. If you skip a dose, your protection may drop, and your blood pressure could spike without you even noticing. If you take a double dose by accident, your pressure could drop too low, which can cause dizziness, fainting, or even internal bleeding if you're on blood thinners. And that's not even mentioning the interactions. The coffee mistake. Some people take their meds with coffee instead of water, thinking it's harmless, but caffeine can interfere with how your body absorbs certain medications. It speeds up your digestion and changes how drugs move through your system, which means you might not be getting the full benefit. Coffee can also dehydrate you, increase your heart rate, and raise your blood pressure, the exact opposite of what some medications are trying to manage. So, what's the right way? What to do instead? Take your medications at the same time every day, morning, noon, or night. Just stay consistent. Use a pill organizer labeled by day and time. Set a phone alarm or smart speaker reminder so you don't forget. Always take your meds with water unless your doctor says otherwise. And if your medication requires food, don't take it on an empty stomach. Follow the instructions. One more thing, never change your dose, even if you feel fine. Some people start feeling better and think, maybe I don't need this anymore. But the truth is, you're feeling better because the medication is working. Stopping it suddenly can send your pressure skyrocketing or undo weeks of progress. These meds are doing quiet, powerful work behind the scenes. Give them the best chance to protect you. The big picture. Taking your medications the right way is one of the easiest, most effective ways to reduce your risk of stroke. It doesn't cost anything extra. It doesn't take more than a minute. But it could literally save your brain. So, what's your routine? Do you use a reminder? A system that helps you stay on track? If so, drop it in the comments. Your method might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Habit 7. Delaying your morning bathroom trip. Let me ask you something a little personal. When you wake up in the morning, do you sometimes just lie there? Maybe you scroll your phone, check the news, wait for the coffee to brew. Even though you feel the urge to go to the bathroom, you just hold it in for a little longer. It seems harmless, right? But for older adults, especially those over 60, delaying your morning bathroom trip could be quietly harming your brain and your heart. Here's why. As your bladder fills overnight, pressure builds in your lower abdomen. If you ignore that pressure in the morning, your body doesn't just sit patiently, it reacts. It releases stress hormones, like cortisol and adrenaline, the same ones that raise your heart rate and blood pressure. Now combine that with the body's natural morning surge in blood pressure. Add in stiffening arteries, dehydration from sleep, maybe a missed medication, and you've got the perfect storm for a stroke. But that's not all. In some cases, a full bladder can trigger abnormal heart rhythms, especially in people who already have heart valve problems or arrhythmias. That combination of high pressure and irregular heartbeat is a known risk factor for stroke and blood clots. And here's the worst part. It's totally preventable. Your body is sending you a clear signal. When you feel the urge, it's not just a comfort issue, it's a circulation issue. And ignoring that urge is putting unnecessary strain on your entire system. So here's what to do. When you wake up, go. Before you check your messages, before your coffee, before you sit down at the breakfast table, make it your first act of self-care for the day. You don't need any equipment, no pills, no schedules, just one short trip to the bathroom when your body asks for it. It's small, it's simple, and it could protect your brain more than you realize. Have you ever gotten into the habit of holding it in during the morning? Or did something help you realize it was better to go right away? Share your experience in the comments, because something that seems minor to you could make a big difference to someone else watching this. Now that we've walked through all 7 of these subtle morning habits, let's take a step back. Because these aren't just small actions, they're part of a bigger picture, a story your body's been trying to tell you, quietly, day after day. Stroke doesn't usually come out of nowhere. It builds slowly, over time, through daily patterns, skipping water, standing up too fast, loading up on salt, ignoring strange symptoms. These aren't just coincidences, they're signals, whispers from your brain, your heart, your blood vessels, asking for help before something serious happens. The good news? You don't have to overhaul your life. You don't need expensive programs or complicated routines. You just need to pay attention and make a few smart adjustments each morning. Drink that water, pause before you stand, eat breakfast that supports your circulation, take your meds the right way, and never ignore those strange moments, because what feels minor today could become critical tomorrow. It's not about fear, it's about awareness. It's about giving yourself the best possible chance to stay strong, stay sharp, and stay independent for years to come. And if this video gave you even one helpful insight, something that made you pause or reflect, please give it a like and share it with someone you care about. A family member, a friend, a neighbor, someone who deserves to protect their brain just like you. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear which habit surprised you the most, or which one you're going to work on first. And don't forget to subscribe our growing community of older adults, caregivers, and lifelong learners who are committed to making smart, sustainable choices for brain and body health. Because your mornings matter, and so does your future. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.